Unfortunately, every planner I've used, I've also abandoned. But the curse has been lifted, the savior is here, and I made her. So today I'm going to show you how I created the planner of my Pinterest dreams so that you can too. We're going to be covering my setup, so that's how I make custom inserts, along with some free printables in case you don't fancy doing that yourself, some cute personalizations, including how to DIY a journal charm, and perhaps most importantly, how I actually use my Filofax as a formerly chronically inconsistent planner. Let's get into it. Part 1, the basics. So first of all, why did I pick a Filofax Pocket? Why did I pick this bougie-ass, kind of expensive planner when your girl can't plan? Well, if you are familiar with my channel at all, you may have seen my journal ecosystem video where I explained the thought process I had behind picking this planner. Listen guys, I've tried to say this sentence like 4 times. I don't know what it is. My tongue does not move in these ways, but this is the Filofax Norfolk in pocket size in the current color. She is stunning. I have no regrets. And if you're not familiar with my channel, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Mia and I chat while I make. So if you like making things or just background noise while you wash your dishes, hit subscribe. My thought process for choosing this planner was pretty simple, in the sense that anything happening in my brain is ever simple, which is to say that the intellectual value of it very much is, but how we got there was needlessly convoluted. So 2 crazy things happened when my prefrontal cortex allegedly finished developing. 1, I survived to 25, insane work. And 2, some magical cell grew in my brain, the electricity flickered to life or something, and I gained the ability to keep track of things. I mean, a bit. Like, mostly. Probably the clearest example of this is my jewelry collection. So I physically could not keep jewelry before I hit 2.5 decades on Earth. I had long since stopped trying because it was such a waste. It was just one of those facts of life until it wasn't. And for the past 1.5 years, I've been successfully building my collection and I've been wearing different jewelry on the daily and I haven't lost a damn thing. Now, this is what gave me the audacity to think that I could keep a planner. Logic, history, common sense, they were not on my side, but I just had an inkling that this time could be different. Enter my mini journal. Now, this journal really helped me to discover that small works fantastically for my brain. Full pages are really quick and easy to fill, and that lack of friction made me a lot more consistent. Plus, if you're creative with it, there are always ways to add extra space if you need it. So after using that journal for a few months, the prophecy was written, okay? I knew it had to be a small pocket-sized planner. I also knew that I at least wanted the option to add my own inserts, so it was gonna have to be a ring-bound planner, and that's pretty much how I settled on my Filofax because all the dupes were ugly. Here's a little tip. So when you're deciding on a planner size, I would take a beat to think about how you want to use your planner. For me, I struggle with time management and just conceptualizing like, what am I meant to be doing and when? So my main planner use is just bullet pointing, i.e. this is happening on this day, this is what you're posting on that day, act accordingly. So this size is perfect for that, but for heavier use, it really might not be. Like for example, if you're planning to do journaling or even hour by hour daily planning, this size would be too small in my opinion. Okay, part 2, decorating my planner. At the end of the day, you saw Pinterest in the video title and clicked. We all know why we're really here, to distract ourselves from the terrifying findings of the Australian National Climate Risk Assessment. Besties, we're cooked. Probably literally. Number 1, decorating the cover page. So the first thing I did was make a cute cover page. I also added some stickers from my favorite Etsy store on the front and back covers. Number 2, a DIY journal chain. Listen, I'm not saying you need to DIY a journal chain. It's superfluous, borderline impractical, but it's cute. It is cute. I didn't set out to make a journal chain. I was trying to DIY a necklace, but I didn't like it as a necklace, so I ended up reworking it. While we're on the topic though, I guess I should show you how to make one. We are here after all. And if we're being honest, the sizing on mine is hardly perfect. So all you need are some jewelry pliers, jump rings, a chain, 2 lobster clasps, and some charms. Measure out the distance between your ring binders and whatever zip you're connecting the chain to, and leave a little bit of slack, and then cut your chain down to size. Use jump rings to connect the lobster clasps on each end, and voila, that's our base done. Okay, on to the fun stuff. So for charms, I personally collect mostly second-hand ones. One of my favorite ways to source these is through jewelry lots on eBay, and occasionally I restock on the Sage vintage charm suit bundles. They are so good, but the international shipping cost wrecks me. me. However, if you want to DIY your own charms, all you need is some printable shrinky dink paper. Now, this material, yeah, it's so cool. You can use it with any at-home printer to print your own designs onto it, and then you heat it in the oven and it shrinks into a hard plastic about 1/3 of the size. Just make sure to punch a hole into your charms prior to shrinking them. These will then be the perfect size to feed jump rings through. If you want a glossy finish, you can do a top coat of UV resin, but if you're just using the charms for your journal, you can skip that step. That's totally fine. Once you have your charms chosen, use jump rings to attach them to your journal chain, or if you're like me and you have a weird hobby of making your own journal charms that already have lobster clasps attached, you can just use those too. So number 3, a DIY planner bookmark. This one actually was intentional because as I've been using my weekly pages more, there's a fair chunk to flip through. I kept this one pretty simple and just used a pearl chain with a charm at the bottom. It's cute. I dig it. Alright, part 3, creating custom planner inserts. The final stage of my customization was making my own planner inserts. Honestly, I didn't even want to do this. I don't know why, but in my mind, I thought there was going to be this like big built-in Filofax community selling cute printable templates on Etsy and stuff. And there is, but it's all a bit type A for my tastes. So we had to go the DIY route. For making your own inserts, you only really need a hole punch and a printer. I print on card paper if I have it, or sketchbook paper if I don't. Basically, anything thicker than standard printer paper is ideal. Here are a few of my favorite inserts I've made though. Number 1, custom sticker sheet inserts. If you follow me on TikTok, you might have already seen this one. If you love stickers but are drowning in half-empty sticker sheets, this hack is for you. Today we are repurposing some of my well-loved sticker sheets into a handy Filofax insert. It's super easy. All I did was clear a mostly empty sticker sheet to use as a base, and then I filled it back up with my favorite leftover stickers. So now I can plan on the go. Number 2, making inserts on Canva. Okay, besties, we're gonna have to yap a little bit about this one. So first of all, let me not be a tease. The inserts I made and featured in this TikTok, alas, I'm using neither my Filofax nor my brain to its full capacity, but there's only one of those I can change. So today we're upgrading my Filofax setup. But I wanted immediate gratification, so we're DIYing it. I used Canva to design some printable inserts based off a few things I've wanted to track for a while, namely my skincare, fragrances, books, and inspo dumps. Here's how everything came out. Are available to download for free. The link is in the description box. They're up on my Substack. Eat, drink, be merry. Side note, someone from YouTube subscribed to my Substack at $100, which is crazy. Thank you so much. I was very much in disbelief when I got that notification, mostly because I haven't actually posted on Substack since November of last year. It just wasn't of interest to my TikTok audience, to be honest, and I didn't really have the free time spare to build another audience at that point. That being said, my Substack might genuinely be a better fit for this corner of the internet, so tell me what you think, because we can return. First off though, it is free, so the paid option is available if people want to support me, but the content and the downloads and all of that stuff is free. But aside from an excuse for me to write and get back into that habit, it's also a space for me to share resources with you all, like my Filofax inserts that I design. And for example, before I gave up on it essentially, I think there's a DIY paper theatre printable kit up, there's a digital travel planner up, and I was kind of playing around with designing interactive journaling sheets, paper craft kits, things like that. So yeah, aside from just my vague rambles, of which there are many, that's kind of the vibe that I was thinking. So yeah, if you would be interested in me dedicating more time to Substack, let me know. But anyways, back to these inserts though. So I downloaded a Filofax Pocket size guide from filofaxy.blogspot.com. That site is great, by the way. They have loads of different printable templates. I think they actually have the Filofax official ones available to print, like some of the ones that aren't in production anymore. And they've got a ton of the different Filofax sizes. I wanted to design my own inserts though, so I picked the template that only had the cut lines. I uploaded that PDF into Canva and worked from there. You have eyes, yes? You could probably tell that I like the more vintage aesthetic, so I tend to source images from museum open access libraries online, like the Met open access one. one. And this is because not only is the art cool, it is free to use, and you can also share it without any copyright issues. So yeah, if you don't know that already, girlies, get on the Met Open Access website. It's a great resource. For the other illustrations, I went to Heritage Type and I downloaded a few of their image packs. I'm not a designer, besties. I'm just a girl, so I don't really know what to tell you about this process. I had specific things I wanted to track in mind and I made pages for those things. But that's my setup so far. I've been using this Filofax for a few months now and I'm really enjoying it. I use this pretty much entirely for organizing my weekly schedule in terms of work, my social calendar, and my content creation. I don't go too crazy over the top. Like, I keep its purpose pretty slimmed down. Apparently I forgot to film an outro orc, so this is the outro. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and leave me a comment. Also, head over to my community tab and vote for what you want to see next week, or just drop it in a comment. That works too. All right, thanks, bye.